All right, welcome back to another episode of Bleducation. I am Brando.
And I'm Mia.
All right, what we talking about today, girl?
Today we're talking about the infamous, the iconic Betty Boop.
Betty Boop from the cartoons. All right.
From the cartoons. Yeah. But listen, this is why we have to have an episode about Betty Boop, because she is not just a cartoon character. Betty Boop was a real woman that went by the original name of Esther Jones. Okay? Also known as Baby Esther.
Oh, it's giving City Girl.
It's giving she was a baddie.
Because Betty Boop
she was the girl, literally the baddest. Okay, so truth be told, there wasn't a lot of information that I personally found about Esther, but what I do know is that she was a former dancer that turned into a jazz performer, and she was known for basically that look of Betty Boop. So like the very short dresses with the, what do you call that thing that goes around your leg? Like the garter belts, things like that. She would wear sometimes like really cute little hats that would like hang off the side of her head. Like
she had the little hair, like the
the things, right? Very, very cute, very, very fashion forward.
Okay.
Some could say.
I like it.
She was that girl. Okay, she performed and was mainly known for her performances at the Cotton Club. So she would go in, put on her performances, and the girls loved it.
So this is like you say Cotton Club. So this is like Harlem. This is like around this time frame. Okay,
I was getting there.
Okay? Got it. Okay.
Sis was known and loved in Harlem. Again, she went by Baby Esther to most people, and everybody in Harlem knew her. Like it was not a secret that she had her own style, her own flair, her own flavor. Like Mama went by the beat of her own drum, and we have to love and respect it, right? Okay. So that is where we get this iconic look of Betty Boop. Okay. But what I really want to talk about today is how she got lost in the sauce. Okay, it absolutely was not her fault.
Because I don't think I knew that. Yeah. Like Betty Boop, was based off of a black woman,
and most people don't, and that is because
she looks
white. She looks white.
This gonna piss me off.
It's gonna piss you off. So just buckle up, Buttercup, because we got a long way to go. So we're gonna get started with this guy called, his name is like Max Fleischer, something I can't pronounce. It feels very Russian, Fleischer.
Okay, yeah.
It's like,
shout out to our Russian listeners.
Hey yo! Yes, don't be mad at me because I did my best. All right. So what we're gonna see happen is around like 1930ish, she's gonna create this caricature of Betty Boop. Betty Boop was known for like her scats. And I don't know if y'all ever seen like the little cartoon version, the animated cartoon version of her, but she's doing like the beep, boop, 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 all those things. I didn't do a great rendition of it, but
wow, okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
So she does those things. That's what she's known for. But that's also, if you could guess, what Esther was known for. Okay, you see what I'm giving here? Do you pick up?
So it's given that they have. Let me collect myself because I don't want you to confirm this because that's what's gonna make me mad. So Esther, Betty Boop is based off of Esther, who is this famous black woman in Harlem.
Yes.
Right. But when you look at the cartoon, Betty Boop looks at best racially ambiguous.
At best.
But I'm gonna just go ahead and call her white.
Yeah, for sure.
So they took a black woman.
Yeah.
And made her white?
Yep. That's what you're getting. Now you're getting it, but the story gets worse, actually, if you can believe it. So, again, Esther was known for her scats. She had a very distinct sound. She would do scats, but she would do like the noise she would make would be like a boop with her mouth. I'm not even sure how to really describe that. But he takes this, he makes it an animated character, and he also sexualizes her character. So, obviously, we talked about it. Esther was a baddie, period. Like, whatever. She was the hot girl on the block, but she wasn't overly sexualized, especially within the community. She just kind of She was respected. She had that style. She was different, but everybody loved and embraced it. Like it was a thing, but it was cool. So what he does is he basically sexualizes her, and his image of Betty Boop becomes the first sexualized animation, which is why Betty Boop is actually so popular. And I think a lot of people actually kind of miss that because she's the first sexualized animation character. Before then, you have very like cute, adorable Mickey Mouse-esque type of things going on, and then we get Betty Boop, and she's coming out. She's got this little skirt that's almost showing her behind, like she's wearing the garter belt. Her legs are twisted up Marilyn Monroe style, like So it's a different vibe than what we've seen in animation before. Again, because y'all think back to like Mickey and Minnie before, like when they're in black and white, kind of dancing around, all those things is what we had seen prior. So steals her whole flow, in the words of Soldier Boy, makes her sexualized, and then it does not stop there. So nobody acknowledges Esther. Nobody acknowledges her. And then we get this white woman named Helen Kane. Let me tell y'all a little something about Helen Kane, okay? Helen Kane hit the scene, and again, if you can guess it, photocopy of my girl Esther. I mean, she comes out, she's doing jazz, or whatever jazz is for white people. I don't really know. I guess it's still jazz, but like, you know, we did the jazz is a black people thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what white people did with jazz at that time, whatever. Anyway, comes out, she's a jazz artist, right? Mm-hmm. She is known for her scats in the boot form as well. She wears the short skirts with the garter belts, with the hats sometimes.
But she's white.
But she's a white woman. Her name, again, is Helen.
You know what this reminds me of?
I know you're about to tell me.
Oh, you know I'm about to go in. This is why I do not like when black people hype up white people who take up space in black areas. Like, do not do it, because white people get this sense of empowerment. They're already gonna, and other white people are like, oh yeah, like this is amazing. Like, oh my gosh. And it's like, no, black people did it first. All right.
Look, hold on. Put a pin in that, because we're gonna go. Look, let me finish Helen's story, and then we're gonna talk about that, because that's what I'm circling to, y'all.
All right.
So, Helen's out here living her life, stealing things from black people, and all of a sudden, people are like, you know, you really remind me of Esther. That's crazy. And she swear up and down she don't know who Esther is. Like, she don't have.
Of course not.
She don't know nothing about that. Like, whatever, right? Come to find out, sis had went and watched the performance of Esther. Stole, again, her whole flow. But then, when confronted with all this information, you know what she did? She went and sued Esther.
I'm sorry, what?
She went and sued
wait.
Esther Jones.
Wait. You meant to say Esther sued
No.
Helen, right?
No. Say what I said. Yeah.
So, Helen stole Esther's identity.
Yeah. Her whole identity, like no bullshit.
And then went and pretended like she was the original, and then sued Esther.
Yeah.
This is peak white woman.
Like, sued her, but
like, this is just peak,
peak white woman, bro.
I cannot.
When I was researching this for this episode, I'm so serious. It actually blew my mind, because I knew Betty Boop was based on a black woman, but I didn't know like the ins and outs of the background. Like, I'm telling you, now you know how I felt the Titanic episode. But I'm telling you, literally stole her whole flow, tried to sue her, but luckily there was video evidence of Esther performing.
Good. I love a girl with a receipt.
Right, before Helen even like made her name, got a start in anything. And they were like, that was cute what you tried to do, but absolutely not. Esther should be
sorry. She should have ran a fade.
Absolutely should have passed. Yeah.
Could not have been me.
But you know, Esther was a classy woman, and she took that W.
I don't know.
Right.
You know, Michelle Obama says, like, when they go low, you go high.
Go to hell.
And me,
I like to go to hell.
Yes, like, you go low, I am going to hell.
I'm going to hell.
There is
and
no
you're coming
way.
with me, actually.
There is no way.
Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting, though, that it, like, to kind of circle back, first of all, I'm really still processing the audacity.
It's crazy like, when you look into it.
But you know, that's really like I was saying, like, I don't like to necessarily celebrate white people doing the same things that black people. Yeah, the things that black people do in those black spaces. And like I feel like as black people, we can be a part of the problem, because we're always the ones like, ooh, they got rhythm, or
invited
like,
to the cookout. Yeah. You know,
I have no cookout invites ever.
I said we've talked about the theoretical cookout.
Ever. No. Theoretical, real, nothing. I don't have it. I don't have a ticket for you.
I try to be compassionate about a lot of it, because I know that the mentality literally comes from being oppressed. And like, I get that. I'm against it, obviously. Like, I do believe in a little bit of gatekeeping. I do believe in holding white people to the same standards that we are. And it's also like, I think of Iggy Azalea immediately off the top of my head. Like, that's immediately
her
like
black accent.
Yo,
she's an Australian woman. She is Australian. And she has a black scent.
Even,
and that's how she became famous.
But even when you just think about like her art form, she's not doing it. She or wasn't. I don't even know if she's still making music, but she wasn't doing anything different than any other girl and black girl in rap. But here she was being backed by T.I. T.I. defending her, like, and it's just like I don't know what it is about specifically white women or this being adjacent to whiteness for especially black men that just makes them want to be like, yes, this is the one, this is who we need to push, this is the narrative that, and it's like they don't do anything different. And I feel like we're almost, especially now with like social media and stuff, we're getting back to this day and age where it's like, oh, she can hit a jig, you one of us.
No, and you're not.
You're not.
I need you to know you're not.
You're not.
You are not. You are not. No. Because at the end of the day, you still have your privilege and you still walk this earth as a white person. You're going to always have that privilege, you know?
So,
and to talk about gatekeeping too, I feel like we don't gatekeep enough, like in the black community. If you look at every other community, they have their established neighborhoods. They have their established, like if you look at like Asian communities, there's like a Chinatown, or there's like, and they keep their money within their communities. And like black people are the only ones that are pressured to be like, you know, inclusive. Like no one else. What other group has that pressure to be inclusive?
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think if we're expanding this conversation out to talking about like spending the black dollar, right? Spending our black money on black businesses, things like that. We also have to talk about the fact that it's almost impossible for that type of blackness to exist. Like in the age of capitalism, right? Thinking about the socioeconomic status of a lot of black people within society, it's hard to go support a black business. Like there are so many t-shirt shops online that are ran by black people that I see that I'm like, man, I really want to buy a shirt from them. But then you go and the shirt is $50, and I get it because they got to make a profit. They got to make their money back. Like I get it. But I can also go to Target and get that shirt for $15. Like it just makes it so hard when you're looking at that realm. And I think with that mindset, it's just very difficult to make that a reality. I feel like absolutely in an ideal world, would I buy everything black owned? Yes. And I honestly try to, but it's just realistically, I don't think that that's possible. But when it comes to like things like music, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. When it comes to art, like we're in my home, but those art pieces we have over there, black woman.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Like things like that I feel like I have more control over. Absolutely. And if I have to pick between, and not even just because of, you know, them being black, but if I have to choose between Iggy Azalea and I don't even know somebody that would be on her level. We're going to say Meg Thee Stallion, even though we know she's here and they're here. I know. But I'm going with Meg every time. Based on talent alone, not even the fact that she's black. I'm going based on talent.
I wouldn't even put them in the same conversation.
Yeah, I wouldn't, you know, I couldn't think of anybody. Okay. Oh, maybe, what's that girl's name? Skinny rapper. She's always getting in fights with people on the internet. Azalea Banks.
Yeah.
I would go with Azalea, one, based on talent, and two, she's black.
Okay, that's fair.
But I think
you had a question?
Yeah.
Oh, go.
So, let's say different world, right?
Like we're looking.
Shut up. We're looking at Helen Kane and Esther Jones. They are, we'll say Helen is better than Esther, but Esther is obviously black. Who are you picking?
Me? Esther. I'm sorry.
So you would
I'm rooting for everyone black.
Even if there was like a substantial...
I am rooting for everyone black.
Every time?
Yep.
Even if they're terrible, worst person on the planet?
Yep. Next question.
I thought that would have took him longer to like process and think about.
Nope. But I mean, you know, that's just also me. Like I'm pretty kind of extreme. But I just kind of feel like we do have to be objective here, I guess. So I mean, we're talking about like how I guess white people are like benefiting from black culture. So we gotta hit the Uno reverse card, which ironically, of course, I don't have a problem with the other with
The other side.
the
The
other
other
side.
side.
So we have to talk about passing, which when Betty Boop comes out, like this is what in the 20s, 30s,
Yeah.
or whatever. So you have all the like you have a division of black people, or you have this idea where the lighter you are,
Yeah.
like there's a closer proximity to whiteness.
Yeah, and definitely, I feel like Betty Boop was passing. Like, I feel like that's why she
Yes, of
appealed to
course.
so many black women,
Absolutely.
in particular. 'Cause,
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, it was a black and white cartoon originally, but it just gave. We don't really know where she is,
Right.
you know.
So, how do you feel and about passing in general? Like, do you feel like if you have someone that is racially ambiguous, that it is okay for them to kind of toe that line and be able to use or benefit from white privilege if they can pass as white, even though they are black? Or do you feel like they're turning their backs on the black community? And mind you, before you answer, this is also in a time like where you have paper bag testing. You have those taxes, like the darker that you are, like the more that you have to pay. So, like, yeah, because black people were doing this to each other. So like,
and yes, for those of you that don't know, the paper bag test was actually used by the a.k.a.s. So what they would do would be to hold a paper bag. Well, I'm just saying this.
Allegedly, we're gonna say allegedly.
Okay, allegedly.
I ain't got no money.
But right, teachers, calm down. Yeah. But they would hold a paper bag up to your face, and if you were lighter than the paper bag, then you could be a part of certain things, or you would get certain privileges, whatever. But if you were not, you obviously wouldn't. But passing. So I think passing is a very complex conversation because, especially in today of things, it's not really a thing. I don't feel like. Okay. But I think back then.
You don't think so?
We'll circle back to that.
Okay.
I think back then to use it in a positive way would not be a bad thing. But if you're utilizing it to turn your back on your people and not help pull them up, you're part of the problem. So, like, for example, I read this book. Oh my goodness, and now I can't remember the name of it. But it was about this black woman, and she passed as white, but she was married to a black man. And they're trying to go get a house in an all white neighborhood, and this was after integration actually. So we're looking at like the 60s, but
still racist,
still very very racist. But we're looking at like the 60s. But what they would do is she would simply just go by herself instead of taking her husband, and then once they sold her the house, here come her husband, her black kids, and they was like,
surprise.
So like utilizing it in that way, I think absolutely can be beneficial. But then you look at things like Imitation of Life, right? Where she was straight up like, I'm not black, I don't know my mama, like, and then the end of the movie, she crying over the casket, like, because you did your people wrong, especially in that particular case, your mama, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think you can use it in a positive way, but I think it's a really fine line of like utilizing it to benefit yourself and then utilizing it to benefit you and your people.
Yeah. So, well, to circle back, I feel like, I don't know if you have seen these articles of like various like CEOs, and they're saying, oh, this is like the first black CEO of a company, but then they like clearly appear or look like a white man, and then you go and look at pictures of them, and it's just like that one drop rule, that quote unquote one drop rule, and that pisses me off. Like that, like sure, technically, like yeah, you're black, but I think black, like when you're looking at race and breaking down race, like you can look at it from two perspectives. You can look at it from like a scientific standpoint, like okay, like with like the one drop rule, those different things. But then I think that for me, being black is more so about cultural association
and an experience.
But then the inverse of that is you have white people who may have grown up in grown up around black culture, who feel like they have access.
That means zero things to me.
Yeah, it means zero things to me too. But that the justification is like, well, like I feel like I identify this way because this is the culture that I grew up around. So when you're breaking down race, are you looking at it strictly from a scientific standpoint? Or are you looking at it from a culture? Or are you looking at it as like kind of like a mesh
I feel like it has to be a mesh because I truthfully feel like, and y'all don't be mad at me, if your parent, so okay, let's just say you have a white parent and then your other parent is like a fourth black. I just don't know if you sliding into the black community because, like, realistically speaking, how much of black culture are you around? Like, growing up, like, it's because being black is really an experience. There are certain things that like that just happen because of the way, like, and I hate to even go back to this, but really, but it goes back to slavery. We do a lot of the things that we do because of how we were conditioned in slavery. Like, I was on TikTok the other day and a lady was saying, stop telling, when people compliment your kids, stop telling them, downplaying your kids after they say that. Because, a lot of the times people will be like, oh, your kid's so amazing, and oh, they ain't that great. You want them, or you can have them, but that goes back to slavery, like, because they would try to downplay their kids, so nobody would try to take them from them. And like, that's even stuff that I didn't know, but I know so many black parents that do that, and that's not an experience you get with white people. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's cultural, it's social, it's emotional, it's physical. Like, it's more than just having 1/16 black in you. It's an entirety of an experience. It's also like our features, like my nose, you know what I'm saying, my eyes, like my eyebrows, like it's our lips, like, you know what I'm saying, like it's all of those things. And I think that, like, it's a real fine line, especially when you get into the people that are like the 1/4, the 1/16, and things like that. It's just, I don't know, it's mad tricky, but I don't know how we got all the way here if we're talking about Betty Boop.
It's
but
not tricky for me. It's enough.
You're terrible.
It is.
Y'all come for him, not me. I ain't do it.
It is.
I didn't do it.
I mean, yeah, that's how I just dwell. I mean, again, I'm all about gatekeeping, and I would like to end the episode by saying that Esther should have ran Helen a Fade.
That's facts for sure.
Yeah, because first of all, like, I just did not know that about Betty. Like,
yeah,
why would you sue her?
Why would you sue her? That blew me too.
After you stole.
And it just really blew me because when they were talking about it, they were like, yeah, and evidence came out, that they found actual videos of Esther doing this before.
She apologized. She should have apologized.
She didn't. She didn't. And it's like, but to me, that's just audacity, because she knew she did not get that. Like, she knew she didn't create that. She knew she didn't cultivate this whole identity, and was still like, well, it's mine. It's mine. Yeah. And I'm actually going to sue you about it.
She should have apologized. And that's that. And speaking of apologies, I know that this is off topic, and I don't know when this episode is going to air, but you know that speaking of white women that need to atone, did you heard about Carolyn Bryant? For those of you who don't know, this is like a little segue. Carolyn Bryant is the white woman who accused Emmett Till of whistling at her and got him killed. Yeah. And so she has disappeared for like 20 years. No one has known where she is. And she just popped up.
Reappeared. Apparently she's week. Dying from cancer or something.
She's dying. And she can die from cancer in a jail cell. Not in a hospice, living her life comfortably.
Yeah, they say she can be. Care.
What's that mean?
Yeah. Oh, no. Absolutely agree.
She needs to be
lock her ass up.
You can take her in her wheelchair with her oxygen tank and take her in that courtroom.
Yeah, lock her ass up for sure. That's like, they got that old,
they got that
Russian
Nazi
man. Yeah, they got absolutely. Nazi. Lock her ass
101.
up.
They can definitely lock her
ass up.
She can spend the rest of her life, however long that is. The people say she got like about a week left.
Well, shit.
And she needs to be in the jail.
It needs to be behind bars.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But anyways, sorry to go off on a tangent. Yeah, I just wanted to address that.
Yeah, that's big facts. I forgot about that. I saw it on TikTok.
So you talk about white people with audacity. But anyways.
Okay, yeah. We will have to do an episode on Emmett Till so I can absolutely drag her. Okay. It's going to hurt my feelings, but we absolutely have to.
Okay, we can.
We'll make y'all that promise.
Okay.
But for now, that is all we got for y'all. So we will see y'all next time.
All right. I am Brando.
And I'm Mia.
All right. Peace. What up? It's your boy, Brando from the Bando. Actually, I'm from the suburbs, not the Bando, but that's okay. I'm here to say thanks for watching the Polaris Network on YouTube. For exclusive shows and premium content, subscribe to the Polaris Network on YouTube right now. Seriously. What are you doing? Go subscribe. Go do it right now.